Friends, it's time for another edition of Which Rhythm Do You Hear? In a few moments, we'll get together with our teammates and we'll decide our names and all that good stuff so we can play. But first, I want to introduce you to some new concepts. So the first one is meter. Meter is what a time signature is actually sort of demonstrating for you or trying to point you towards. For the time signatures that we've worked on for most of this year, again, if there's a 4 in the bottom, we're going to call this duple meter, or perhaps simple meter is another way people refer to it. All that means is that when we're listening to a piece of music or we're playing or singing a piece of music, we want to know where the accent or the heavy or strong beats are falling. In a duple meter, the accent is going to have a strong beat and then a weak beat. And it goes back and forth between those two. Strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak. So you are quite familiar with that, even if you don't know it. I promise you. All right. Another type of meter is called compound or triple meter. In compound meter, instead of having a strong, weak feeling, we end up with a strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak. So for a compound meter, also known as triple meter, we're dividing our steady beat into 3 smaller sounds rather than 2 smaller sounds. This might seem a little confusing, and I totally get it. So what I'm going to do is share with you some images now of very similar rhythm patterns, but the first one you'll see will be in duple meter, and the second one you'll see will be in triple meter. Again, duple or simple meter, compound or triple meter. So let's take a look at a first example. The first example here has all 8th notes, okay? If I put on my steady beat and I play it, you can go ahead and clap it or speak it with me if you want. It's gonna sound like this. Try it, ready, and here you go. Awesome. Let's look at a very similar rhythm, almost exactly the same, except it's going to be in compound meter. You have all 8th notes, but instead of being grouped 2 together, now they're grouped 3 together. Try it after me, and here I go. Awesome. Let's look at the next one. We're back in simple meter. Here I go. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Let's look at the similar rhythm in compound meter. We've got, now instead of a quarter note, we've got a dotted quarter note. So we have to say tum. Here I go. Tum, tum, ti, 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 tum. Here's the third example. Here I go. Ta, ti, ti, ta. All right, and here's the similar rhythm in compound meter. Here I go. Tum, ti, 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 tum. The next one, here I go. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. And here's the similar version in compound meter. Ti, 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 tum, ti, 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 tum. And the next one in simple meter. and the similar rhythm in compound meter. T, 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 T. Great job. Okay, the next one, here I go. Ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti. And the similar rhythm in compound meter. Ti, 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 tum, tum, ti, ti, ti. And the next one, here I go. Ta, ti, ti. And the similar rhythm in compound meter. Tum, ti, ti, ti. And the next one, simple meter, here I go. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Here's compound meter for that one. Here I go. Tum, ti, 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 tum. The next one, simple meter, here I go. Ti, 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 ta. And in triple meter or compound meter, here I go. Ti, 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 tum. And the last example, here I go. Simple meter. Ti, ti. And the last one, in compound meter or triple meter, here I go. Ti, ti, ti. All right, friends, we're ready to play. For this version of Which Rhythm Do You Hear, you'll hear the metronome, and Miss Smith is going to play one of those rhythms that we just went over. Your job with your team is going to be to determine if the rhythm that you heard was in simple meter or if it was in compound meter. Another way we could say that again is, was it in duple meter or was it in triple meter? So go ahead and take about 40 seconds, divide into 2 groups in your classroom if you're face-to-face, and pick a team name and then have your proctor write it on the board. Please, thank you so much, proctors, for your assistance. So 40 seconds to come up with your team name if you're face-to-face school. Ready? 40 seconds starts right now. All right, everybody, do you have your team name? Do you have yourselves ready to go? Okay, so for each team, one person at a time is going to come forward, kind of like Family Feud again, and you're going to have 10 seconds to decide if what you're hearing is in simple or compound meter. Then I'll give you the answer, and whoever got the answer correctly, you'll get a point for your team. You guys ready? Let's go.